Welcome back, folks. Episode 2 of Lessons Unplanned, the realities of teaching. I got Tressa, Heffron, and Jake Lezak with me again. I know we mentioned we might have some others, but we're pretty much the standard for a while.
I mean,
we might invite some guests, but it's going to be us for now, right, guys?
We got this.
We got this. We got a lot to say. So, today's episode, the theme is the joy and the grind. So we're going to talk about the goods and the bads, what we love, what we don't love, and we'll see how it goes. And well, we'll get through this, and then we'll work on the next one. How about that?
Yeah.
So, teaching can be an emotional roller coaster. And I think we touched on that in our last episode a little bit. Like, it really can pull on your heartstrings, but also they can really test your patience, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why sometimes you just sit in your car when you get home and don't go inside.
Mm-hmm. Every night.
Because you don't want nobody, nothing. I want silence.
Yes.
So I think what we want to start with is let's talk about a moment that reminded you of why you love this job. So let's talk about the positives first, and then we'll dig into what's out. So anything recently happened to you guys that reminded you, like, yeah, I've invested into a great career?
I mean, I think of, just the students and the success that they see in my classroom, when they put the work in and, in terms of their fitness, it just builds so much confidence. And they come up to me and they're like, Mr. Lezak, I just did, whatever, X number of times. I'd never done that before. And, they're just glowing. And, I'm like, good, it's growth. That's growth in so many ways. And they'll realize it later in life, like how much that helped them grow. I think of some students that have come in and, there's nothing I can do in here. And I got to their level, and that to me is a huge win. Mm-hmm. And I looked at them and said, okay. I said, what do you think you're supposed to be doing in here? Like, what we're supposed to play games and I'm not an athlete. And I'm like, okay, all right. So, and I bring it down to their level.
You mean you don't just roll out a dodgeball?
No. Not. Wait,
I've been in your gym. There's no rope to climb either.
I know. Isn't that disappointing?
It is so sad.
How are they supposed to fall?
Right.
You only learn
Times
from
haven't
mistakes,
changed.
Right?
Yeah. I think this is part of like why you changed from physical education to lifetime fitness.
Yeah.
I've listened to you talk to me about that before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a fantastic experience for me, and going into just a little bit of my coaching to see the progression of a youth player and a high school player and when they get it. Mm-hmm. And that celebration isn't just for one player when they score, it's every player, because the efforts of what they put into working to make that happen is huge. Yep. It's monumental.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes you feel good.
Tressa, what about you? What's that moment recently that said, oh, I still love this?
For me, I came back from elementary back to middle school finally, and it took me longer than I wanted it to, but
some people will tell you, like, that's from the frying pan into the fryer.
Man, I'll tell you, there's nothing like middle school. I just love it. I love it so much.
You have to be built for it.
I love it. I love it there. And what reinforced that to me recently was there was a girl who was in my study hall. She wasn't even a student of mine. She's not in my class. She's just in my study hall. And she was having a rough time. And everybody could kind of tell something's going on with this kid. But nobody would talk to her about it. She's kind of a student that has had some issues through her life and some difficulties with a lot of things. And finally I said, all right, that's it. What's going on? So I found her in a class that was during my prep period. And I said, let's go talk. She broke down. She just cried. And she explained everything and how it went. She didn't feel loved. She didn't feel like anybody wanted her. She didn't feel important at home. She didn't feel important at school. She didn't feel it. And I was like, we got this. We got this. You came to the right person. We fixed all her classes. So she was passing everything. We slowly worked through so that we could find out what the issues were and why she wasn't passing, what she was failing for, and why she wasn't turning things in. Got her to the point where she was passing. We talked at home. We talked about everything that was going on and how she felt. That changed. I mean, she's started to feel, now she can open up at home, right?
Yeah.
So she comes to school, and now she doesn't have me. She's not in my study hall anymore. And what's the first thing she does? As soon as she sees me, gives me a huge hug.
Yeah, and that's worth it.
Yep.
That's worth it.
This is why I'm back.
Yeah, we're still allowed to hug.
Yep.
Right?
This
like
is why I'm
when
back.
the emotions are there, we still want to
Absolutely.
take the time and let kids know that we're human, they're human.
Yeah.
And we have emotions, and sometimes we feel them.
Yeah, and they need to see that.
Listen, I'm really disappointed in you.
Why?
Because that's not what I thought you were going to talk about. I was on Facebook, right? We're still on Facebook because we're old. And I'm like, who is this weird lady dressed up in a yellow dress?
That's me.
Yeah. Why don't you tell people, what were you doing? Like,
so I'm teaching about ancient India, and I always do this. I try to bring in whatever culture we're talking about. I try to bring it in somehow so that they can understand what's going on in the world today, right? So in our town, we have a lot of people from India who will wear a sari.
We do.
Who will wear a bindi, and they don't know what that is. So do you know how many kids stopped me in the hallway yesterday?
Oh,
hey, is your head okay? You got something wrong with it? No, it's called and I stopped them. This is a bindi. I wear this because I'm married. Like I explain it to them. I want them to see those things because they need to see it. They see it in the community. Ask me those questions so that when you go out in the community, you see women dressed like this, you're not staring at them or gawking or making them feel awkward.
Don't forget, we are in rural Pennsylvania.
It's true.
And
but it's
showing them something like that
is
important, but it does floor them a little bit.
Little kid came in from the elementary school, and they walked in, and they were like, "Why do you have on all yellow?" I was like, "Well, I teach world history. Let's talk about this."
Jake, I'm also pretty disappointed in you because I was thinking like I thought you were going to talk about how much the kids admire you because I think there was a dress like your teacher day, and all I saw was bucket hats.
Yeah,
I saw like 3 kids wearing bucket hats because you're notorious for the bucket hat.
Well, I love the bucket hat, man. You got to protect those ears,
right?
You know,
right. Skin cancer is real.
It's a real thing. Yeah, yeah.
Cover up.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, it's fun, and you know, I don't get those kind of stories that you guys do, but we're working on a food drive for kids and families, and that's a rewarding thing. I'm like, yeah, this is why I want to do my job because we have all these people giving money. We've raised thousands of dollars just on our staff. So I'm like, yep, I'm in the right spot there. And you guys know, I'm not a wildcat by birth, but I definitely married in.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Or jumped in as if it's a gang. I've been put through my paces a little. I've been initiated a few times.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest though, Craig. I think what I kind of expected from you was to say, my thought, for you is that being at the top in our district and being in charge of everything, you have a role in everything and all those positive things that happen in those classrooms, and having teachers who have the liberty, to wear something, and having administrators that have those liberties and give those liberties to pass them on, and the programs and we have an apiary, we have all these other things that go on. If we had somebody at the top that shut it down, we wouldn't have the success.
I guess I never thought of that.
There you go.
All right, thank you. I'm not a good compliment taker, but I think the whole thing is why not?
Yeah.
Right.
Make sure it's okay. Make sure it's legal. I think I've learned that over the years. But have the apiary. Right?
Yeah.
Check with professionals about that. Check with the township and borough. We did all that, but I also got to eat the harvest dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
With the bee, with the honey made from the bees on our property,
right.
and the chickens raised in our ag department,
right across the hall from my room,
and all the biscuits and kids made everything single piece. There was not anything store bought.
And how proud were they?
Oh, that is incredible.
I talked to colleagues that not college, other health and phys ed professionals and other teachers in other districts, and they're like, "You get to do what?" And you get that much liberty. You mean we don't get to do this? We don't get to do that. We don't get to do that. And I'm like, "Oh no, well, you need to come to Athens."
Yeah,
I think it's because we really have a team. Like our team is a great team. From every custodian that works in our building and every cafeteria worker that we have to every para, every teacher, every administrator. We're a team. That's what we do.
It's because of soccer,
right? Yeah,
of course.
There you go, soccer again. Yeah, folks, he's a recovering soccer coach.
It comes from the Haven.
No, I would say Lock Haven produces quality results.
Of some kind, don't we?
So the Hug Fest is over, but we gotta get real now. What wears you down? What wears you down? Like when you go okay, I've had enough of this.
I'll tell you exactly what wears me down.
Be honest. This is why we're here. This is the realities of teaching. We don't have to be in la la land.
Student in class, I don't want to take notes. Okay, you don't want to take notes. Nope. Okay, so what do you want to do?
Right.
Well, I don't want to do anything. Okay, well, how's that going to help you? Is that helping your learning? No, but I don't care. Day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping class. I don't need to come to class. Well, actually, you do. That gets like what the audacity that these kids have to just be like, well, I know what's best for me.
I bet there are a lot of people, about tens of people that are listening to this podcast went, the audacity of these kids.
That's what it is.
Yep. Triple stamp that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just think they can do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. And who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, their parent, they're I do it at home, so why shouldn't I do it here? Well, guess what? This isn't home. It's different.
Well, and I think that comes down to what wears you down is there is a lack of professionalism and respect that's given to the profession. And, kids get that from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And where are they getting that from? Are they getting that from entertainment? Right. Are they getting that from home? Are they getting that from the community?
Right.
But it's being propagated, and you both know what wears you down is the constant uphill battle that this is an honorable profession, and we are trained and we are educated, and we're here to provide you with a pathway into the future, a positive pathway.
Right.
And they want to fight it the whole way. And I don't. And listen, I went to school with kids that didn't want to go to school, but it wasn't disrespectful.
Now is that it's not only is it disrespectful to us, but it's also disrespectful to the fellow students.
Oh, for sure.
And those kids that really want to learn and really hope for the best for themselves for the rest of their life, they see that, and then their learning's interrupted, and they don't get the same education that they should get or that they want to get because of these disruptions.
100%. Jake, what wears you down? And don't say crunches or squats.
Or planks.
Physically, I can't be worn down. No. By the kids.
We got to have some fun with this.
Yeah. So it's just like she said, I think every teacher fights that mental battle with the students. And, obviously I don't have, not every kid walks into class and is like, they want to rare to go. That's elementary PE, not high school. But, so it's the daily battle with some of those students and trying to find something that fits them that day. And I don't always win that, and I hate to lose. So that's one of those things that wears on me. And I think the other side of it is when we have students who are truly troubled, and you want to do everything you can to help them, and you try to do everything you can to help them, but at the end of the day, it may not be enough. And it's soul crushing, to see a kid that is truly just battling all these things that are real: depression, anxiety, stress, and then carrying baggage that no kid should have to carry. Right. We read about a lot of that in the paper, unfortunately, and these kids are walking the halls, and the other kids don't have any idea. Don't have any idea, and we find out about those things. You get snippets of the inside of what's going on with the kids so that you can try to help them the best you can. But at the end of the day, that wears on you.
Yep.
You touched on a topic, and I just heard this on the news, and I'm a person that avoids the news anymore. I taught government and history, and recently I think I've made a conscious effort to preserve my mental health and avoid news. Yeah. But I did hear a very important term, the K-shaped economy. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer because it's, but that dichotomy is really becoming prevalent inside our hallways too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's what you're talking about is the kids that are on the bottom end of that K. Yep. Having them in school is a bonus, and it's the last thing on their mind. And they might be there for lunch, or breakfast, because we do offer free lunch and breakfast.
What's interesting is those kids are the ones that at the end of the day say, "Do I have to go home?
Right? Yeah.
Can't I stay here? Well, what do you want to do?"
Yeah. Hearing a story about a student who goes through and packs their lunch and then goes through the line and gets the free lunch to give to somebody else.
Yeah. It's wears me. The thing that wears me down is that. Thinking about not having enough money to provide everything our kids need.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Because, we're running a deficit like many schools across the state of Pennsylvania and probably across the nation. We don't have enough funding to do all the things that go into treating a child as a whole child. Right. And, I just try to think back to when I was a student, which was 2 or 3 decades before you guys. And
obviously
there weren't things like
Yes,
mental health counselors. There weren't social emotional curriculum. There wasn't,
right.
things like that.
There was SAP.
There was SAP.
But it was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was more of like, hey, this kid's missing for a while. Why is that?
Yeah.
Like there's not that stuff. And
Yeah.
but we didn't have bags of food going home with kids. So there just wasn't that.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way,
Clothing.
if you did get free lunch like I did, you had to run around with this ticket that you give to the cafeteria lady, and they punched it in front of everybody, so everybody knew.
Right.
So don't even talk to me about bullying.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And when they stole your ticket, you were mad. I was
because you weren't going to get
pissed.
food.
Yeah, I was mad. I loved my food. I was chubby, and I loved it.
I remember you in school.
All right.
Come on, Greg.
It's just that's what wears me down. That and I think the battle of trying to like battle the trust problem, like we are trying to do a job, but we are always challenged on all of our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything you do, everything we do as a district, like it's challenged because someone doesn't like it, and it's like we put a lot of thought and effort. We research, like you guys are trained experts, like, and then they'll believe their children over us, and that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the hard part is too is you battle against the 1%ers that get the microphone, disagree, and they make it sound like they're the majority.
Right.
Right. So the grind.
Yeah.
That's the part of the grind.
Yeah.
We got to end. So we'll
Can't
do it.
please everybody, you know?
We got to do this like an Oreo, right? So what are you most proud of as an educator? What's the proudest thing for you?
I think for me, it's when I get to go to graduation. I've missed one in my 22 years. And it's every kid. That's what it is. That's our success.
Yep.
And it's ours, as K through 12, regardless of what role you play, that's our success. And to see those kids, some of them teary-eyed, some of them bright-eyed and super happy and smiling, and others, I mean, the fear of God in their eyes of, oh my God, this is real. This is real. But it's just an awesome experience. That to me, and there's many other stories through those years I've given, but that's kind of the epitome of it, is that pride of just getting to see that kid walk across that field.
Yep.
And do that. It's just awesome.
Well, one of the things that I really love about being a Wildcat and being here is that the faculty show up for graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see how many of those kids stop, give hugs
Yeah.
to their teachers.
Makes a difference.
Like all the way K to 12. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
so
and a lot of the kids
that's a
surprise
proud
me,
moment.
afterwards. They're like, Mr. Lezak, I got to get my picture with you. And I'm like, you hated me.
I thought. Tressa, you've been at a lot of levels. What makes you the most proud of?
So, it's weird because I feel like I remember very, very vividly 3 times that I was like, wow, my heart just swelled. One time was a couple of years ago, I had a kid that was just naughty. I mean, he was skipping class, like he was a 5th grader.
She didn't use that term a few hours ago.
Oh, he was just so bad. I mean, I think he dipped out of school, the building. I think he just ran and was like, see ya. But he was a 5th grader.
Right.
And he had come here from a different district, and then he ended up like 2 months later moving from this district. But he was the time that I had him, and I remember we were at the field, and he was playing football for another team, another school, and I was walking towards one way, and he was coming at me. He had his full pads and helmet, everything on, and he walked past me, but then I said something to my husband who was in front of me, and he heard my voice. That kid turned around and just ran right at me and barrel hugged me. Full gear, everything, and just was tears in his eyes. I didn't think I was going to see you again. Gave me the biggest hug. I was like, oh my God, this kid, what? I mean, that's when you made a difference, right? You see them in the public. Yeah. They don't even care who sees them. One kid handed me a flower from his 8th grade graduation because he was like, I want you to have this. You helped me so much. Like things, those little things that kids do, they mean so much.
It's those moments that are the dopamine that keeps us interested, or we crack whatever it is. Yeah. I've had those moments now. I haven't taught in 13 years, and it's been forever. I've been like been here since 2013. So yeah, I miss those days. Those are the types of moments I do miss for sure. But
it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. So the joy in the grind, right? Hey, folks, this is how it is. And we try to be as honest as we can. And, I think the next episode, we're going to kind of dive into what we get right and what we get wrong in the whole system of education. So, right. Yeah. What? So there's a lot to discuss, unpack on that one. So
your wife.
I don't see her in here. All right.
Yeah, we might have to have her be a guest host or guest speaker one of those times.
There we go.
So, hey, folks, this is Lessons Unplanned, the reality of teaching in 2025 right now. So catch us on the next episode. Take care.